What kind of stuff went on between each kid's horrific experiences and joining Peace and Purpose? Like, where were they staying? That's a great question. I forgot about this one. John was at home. John was living with his mom. It was just the two of them. And things with her addiction just got really bad. And he couldn't stay with her anymore. Travis was living in the shed for real. That was real. That was not him just talking. He really did live in a shed. His family was almost like a cult. It was not a cult. He didn't live with people that were a cult, but it was like a lot of extended family living together on a block of land. It wasn't a farm, but it was isolated like that. They were just kind of out there. The kids were all homeschooled, like very heavily conservative Christian, not a lot of technology going on. Basically, what happened with him, everything was fine until he got to be about two and a half, when he should have been talking and becoming like a little kid instead of like a baby. That sort of age range where a lot of change should be happening. They started to realize that he had like some sort of mental handicap, and that was unacceptable, and they were going to kill him. But his mom stopped it. She didn't want him, but she didn't want him killed. So they put him on the edge of the property in a shed, and they would bring him food, and he would just be in there. But Travis did have a sister who looked out for him, and she's actually the one who kind of found the right people and was like, hey, this is going on, and this is not right. She knew for a long time that it wasn't right, and she was too afraid to tell, and then she did tell, and then her whole world collapsed. I feel really bad for her, but she definitely did the right thing and will be better because of it, and definitely he is going to be better because of it. He would have had, I think, the most interesting journey going from there to Peace and Purpose, because he doesn't know anything outside of that little tiny shed that he's in, and Anna that comes and goes. That's all he knows in the world. He's never allowed out. He's never, seen anybody different. That's why he likes Big T so much, because Big T is this giant black guy, and Travis has never seen a black person before. So he's like so happy, and he thinks like Big T is so cool. I would love to delve into all the things that he had to learn. There's been brief mentions of a couple. Like I tried as politely as I could to explain that Travis would masturbate whenever he wanted, because he'd always lived alone and he never knew anything was wrong with that, so he just wanted to do it when he wanted to do it. There are kids who are never around anyone for any length of time that care about them, and they kind of can't make those connections, and they never do. And so I wanted him to have more than that, so I gave him Anna to be his person that would play with him and read to him and all of that. I've been going on, and I'm so sorry. With Ashton, it was really different. Everything was normal. Everything was fine. He was in a stable, loving, happy home. But his family is across the world, and he can't get to them, and they can't get to him, and they don't know him, so they're not willing to take him. There's all this complication. For him, it was the police coming to his door at night, getting him, social workers. He's in a police station. He has to go back to his house, get what stuff he wants, and go. And that's all he knows. He never did the foster family thing. He was very adamant when they asked him that he didn't want to do that, because he'd just come from a family and he didn't want to live with a family. So the group home was definitely the better option for him as far as trying to recover. I think it would have been really hard for him to grieve his family while he's living with a new family. I feel like that would be difficult. So this gave him some padding to feel like he didn't have to just forget about it. It allowed him to live in a different kind of structure and see that things were still okay. And I think that that's really important in the long run. And Lucas really understood that too, especially because Ashton, they take kids 12 to 18 and they like them to kind of stay around the same age. They were working with younger kids at the beginning. They got Callum, who was 17, then they got John, who was 17, and they got Austin, who was 17. So the age has been moving up, even though Travis and Ashton are both younger and have been there longer. They were working with younger kids, so they were more willing to take a 12-year-old, because Ashton was 12 when he got there. If it had been John, Ashton, I'm blanking, Travis, they wouldn't have taken a 12-year-old, because you don't want two 17-year-olds and a 12-year-old and then a 15-year-old in the middle. I mean, picture a 7th grader and a senior in high school. Like, it's really different. And for Lucas and Zach to be kind of, you know, dealing with the different aspects of puberty, people's brains process things completely differently at those ages. They're trying to get people that are kind of more on the same page. I love doing this. If you guys want to do this again, I'll do this whenever you want. Okay, when Lucas left for the night and was dressed up, why? He went to multiple commission meetings, like commissioner hearings, which I've actually been to some of them, and I love them. They're public forums run by the local government. So the county commissioner is the person who, like, figures out the budget and stuff. So what they're doing at these meetings is they're determining how to divide up the budget. So it'll be a lot of funding cuts and then people showing up. So at the meeting that I went to, they were trying to cut funding from the libraries. There's an organization similar to the Boys and Girls Club and the art programs from schools. So there were all these people from those organizations showing up and saying, here's why you should keep funding our thing, or I work at this library and I think we should merge with this other library so you're only paying for one. So Lucas went and did that, and he was like, I run this group home and this is why it's important and this is what we do every week and this is what these kids are getting out of it, and you know, they can come back and give to society, and like, please don't cut our budget. So if he's up there and he's looking like his like long hair, like lax clothes self, that's not really like gonna fly with them. So he has to try to look good. Lucas was also getting dressed up because he was meeting with attorneys and like lawyers and stuff, because he was trying to figure out, not like if he could sue, but just like where things stood, and like, if we do this, what happens, and can we do this without these legal problems and stuff like that. What are some things you didn't plan on putting in the fic that you added last minute as you were writing? Is there anything that was supposed to go in but didn't make the cut? There's so much that's supposed to go in that doesn't make the cut. I can't even tell you. There were scenes when I first started writing it and I was trying to figure out how I wanted everything to play out that I didn't put in, that I still think about. Not because like I wanted them to be in, but I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't do it this way. After what happens at the school that sends Austin out of the school, I had this whole scene in my head where he's like having this extended freak out, and it's not like a loud freak out, it's like a quiet freak out, but he's like, he can't calm down, he can't calm down, he can't calm down, and it's like hours and hours of this, and then the Woods would take him to the hospital, but it just felt so dramatic and like weird, and y'all know I don't like to do dramatic, and it's just like, I don't know. So I kept drafting it over and over because I like to draft things over and over. And just every which way I tried to do it, I couldn't make it work. It was like, I wanted Jeff to be there, but I was like, why would he be there? Like, why would he be involved and all this stuff? So I was like, forget it. Like in this last chapter also, I made some mistakes. During my edit, I caught the mistakes, but I had, when Austin was talking to Lucas in the office in the last chapter, and kind of wrapping things up and hearing his story and all that, I had the kids at school. It's Saturday. I can't have the kids at school. So they're in there. Brendan comes out to say goodbye to him, blah, 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 and all this stuff. So I had to take that part out because that like wasn't correct. I'm trying to think if there was anything that actually like came out. That one scene that I posted came out. I posted it in December as part of the like 25 thing. Hold on, Taylor Swift just posted. Oh, she's so beautiful. Okay, I'm back. Oh, well, that wasn't even part of the question. But I posted it in December. You can, if you put in, it was like tag 25, it'll come up as like a scene that I cut out. The whole scene where Austin's talking to Otto's mom and he calls her mom, that wasn't planned. Oliver wasn't planned. There's been a lot that wasn't planned. The very, very last scene of the last chapter where they're in the bunk beds again, that wasn't planned. I added that like 3 days ago. There's a lot. It's a lot. And it just happens, and it's the coolest feeling. I think I've talked about it a little bit before. I just love it so much, and I feel like those scenes are the ones that I love the most, that are the most meant to be. The part where John talks to Austin about his mom very briefly, that wasn't planned. That happened as I was writing it. I'll try to think of more for you, because I really like that question. Did you guys like the sand tray? I never hear anything about it. So I don't know if anybody liked it or not. Was Lucas storming out during art therapy related to Mr. W not being at school? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But it is related to something else. And I think 2 or 3 people figured it out. One of them was my mom. She talked herself into the right answer, and I was like, wow. She did it. Yeah, here's the person that got it right. Austin's K Knight, always coming in with the correct answers every time. Every time she nails it. She's always got it. She's so smart. Okay, I'm trying to do like 1 or 2 more. Oh, here's Sarah telling me she almost didn't read it. Thanks for reading it. I'm glad you did. Did you use some of the questions from the survey in the Bible study scene? Yes, I did. In September, October, I put out a survey asking questions you guys had about religion, stereotypes that you saw about religion. I'm sure the survey's still up if you wanted to go look at the questions. Yes, I did definitely use some of the things that you guys said. That was a very eye-opening experience for me as a Christian, seeing what people really think about it, what people who are teenagers think about it. That's why I asked your age. But it was like sad, but also cool, but also strange. I don't know. I love when you guys talk to me about it, even if you're telling me like you don't agree with me. I'd love to talk to you about any of it. Most everything that John said is my personal opinion. Not everything, but most everything. And what he said is what I wanted you guys to hear from me for what I know of what I believe. The basis is always love and acceptance and changing for the better. It is not about condemning anyone. It is not about putting people down. People who are different than you being bad. It has never, ever been about that. Ever. And it's a shame that it has come to that, and that it has in some ways always been like that. Is Made in America set in 2014? Yes, it is. I used to get this question like every week. Yeah, it's set in 2014. We know that now. And that's about it. Thank you so much. I can't believe that we got through all of this. It's crazy. Thank you for supporting me and making me want to keep writing. Okay, I love you.